Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find information about the books I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store, and we're making a way through this sample paper which you can download for free from the ABRSM website. You'll find the link to that in the descriptions below, and this is showing you what the newly revised layout of the exam paper will look like from 2018 onwards. We've made a start of this already in a previous video, so if you turn with me to page 2, we'll progress with this. So we're going to start with question 3 now. And so I always recommend you have a go of this. It doesn't matter if you go wrong. Always work in pencil and then you can just rub it out if you made a mistake, and you'll learn more thoroughly by those mistakes. So there are a few clues in this question to help us. We're told to write above, so we're always counting up from the given note. We need to write a higher note, so that's just reiterating we're counting above. And we need to make sure it's also above because we're writing directly above to make a harmonic interval rather than one after the other to make a melodic interval. So we're told that the key is G minor, and so whilst we need to be bearing in mind what that key signature may do to the notes that we've been given, or to some of the notes that we may be adding in, we need to just keep counting from this first note to create these intervals. So even though the key is G minor, it's still possible to have major intervals. So let's look at this. So we're given a G in the treble clef and we need to write a perfect octave. So G to G. And if you're not sure, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we know every good boy deserves football F, G. If it is that you really feel unsure that you've counted correctly, you always count number 1, the given note here, but you can always sketch out the steps of the scale. I know that we'll have some accidentals to think about, but just get the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see G to G, of course, is an octave. So now then we need to write a major seventh. So first of all we need to get the correct interval in place. So we need to get a seventh. So let's get the basic seventh. So if we're counting 1, 2, 3 is the space, 4, 5 is the space, 6, 7 is the space. So we'll need a couple of ledge lines there, and then if you think that's middle, C, D, E, F, and we can see that F is the seventh as we just work that out. However, now we need to make it into a major seventh. So if we're counting G as our key note or our tonic or tone key, G major would have F sharp. So in order to make this a major seventh, we need to add a sharp sign. So now then we're counting from G in the treble clef and we need a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, G, A, B, C. And to make a perfect fourth, we don't need to change anything. That's just literally as it comes. So now then, let's add a third to this low G in the bass clef. 1, 2, 3, G, A, B. Of course that's a B flat because of the key signature, and that is exactly correct as we need it for a minor third because B flat is part of the G minor scale. If it was a major third, part of the G major scale, that would have to be a B natural. However, G minor fits in perfectly with that key signature. So let's now look at this next one. So we're going to need lots of ledger lines here because we've got to count up a sixth. So 1, 2, 3 is the space, 4, 5 is the space, 6 as the line. So G, A, B, C, D, E, and we can see the E is the 6th. Now remember, this is an E flat because the key signature is active, and that's exactly what we need because E flat is part of the G minor scale, and if it was an E natural, that would be part of the major scale, that would be a major 6th. So that's exactly right, that's exactly as we need it. So they are pretty soon done. Let's move on to the next question. Now here we've got to jump around between a few scales, and I would always recommend that before you start any exam paper you just sketch out your circle of fifths, so you've got all your major and minor key signatures to hand. You've done all your thinking in one go, and then you can just relax and keep referring back to that rather than having to keep scratching your head and rethinking the same information over and over again. So if you've done that already, your thinking's already done for this question here. If you're not sure how to go about that, I've done a video tutorial on the circle of fifths, and you'll find the link to that in the description below and also in the cards. So now let's do a little bit of thinking. So we've got a few things to do here. Excuse me. We need to name the key. And then we need to be careful to describe, if it's a minor scale, whether it's going to be harmonic or melodic minor. So we've got to just pay attention there as well. So our first clue is that we've got our beginning note in the treble clef. We're beginning on an F sharp, we're ending on an F sharp. So we know that it's going to be F sharp something. So we need to know now if it's F sharp major or F sharp minor. Well, we've got F sharps, G sharps, C sharps and E sharps. So let's just sketch that down. We've got F sharps, C sharps, G sharps and E sharps. Now F, C, G is part of the key signature. We can't have E as part of the key signature. There have to be F, C, G, D, A, E before we can have that in the key signature. Everything has to be present. So the only way we can explain that E is the raised 7th. And so if the E sharp is the 7th, that means we're in F sharp minor, and that's correct because F sharp minor is related to A major and has a key signature of 3 sharps. So the fact that we've got the raised 7th, not the raised 6th and 7th in this ascending scale, tells us that we're in harmonic minor form, because the harmonic minor has the raised 7th, the melodic minor has the raised 6th and 7th. So there we go. Let's look at this next one. So we're in the bass clef, we're beginning and ending on A flat. So we must be an A flat something. So let's see what else we've got. We've got an A flat, of course, beginning and end. We've got a B flat, C, D flat and E flat. Back to A flat. So A flat major would have a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats and D flats. They are all present and there's nothing else that we can't explain, and so that's very simply a case showing we've got A flat major. Let's look at the next one. So here we've got a C. We're beginning and ending on a C. We know it's C something then. We know, of course, it can't be C major because C major would not have any flats at all. It would have no sharps or flats. So it must be some form of minor. And so let's see what we've got here. We've got a B flat, an A flat, and an E flat. Now, if it was the harmonic minor, the 7th would be raised and that B flat would be cancelled out. But because we've got all the flats of the related key, which is E flat major, B flats, E flats, A flats, that means we're coming down in the key signature for the related key, which must mean we're in the descending form of the melodic minor scale. So there's quite a bit of detective work to do here. We just have to keep looking at the clues and seeing how we can best explain them. Don't forget the half marks is just getting this first bit right and whether it's major or minor, and then these are just the extra few marks that we can just aim to achieve. So here we're in the treble clef, we've got a D. We're beginning and ending on a D, every good boy deserves, so we know we're in D something. And we've got F sharps and C sharps, which means that's the key signature for D major. Everything's present and correct, with no other additions that we can't explain in that major key signature. So we know that we're in D major. There we go. So after all that thinking, this next one doesn't seem too tricky. We just got to take our time and count carefully. We're in letters quite high in the treble or quite low in the bass, or low in the treble and high in the bass. We're going to have a lot of ledger lines to be counting. There's a couple of ways you can go about this. You can either start from somewhere where you're familiar with. So we know in the treble clef it's every good boy deserves football, and just count up. F, G, A, B, C, D sharp. Alternatively, so long as you remember to count this as the given note as 1, we can count down an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to this note, every good boy deserves. So we know we're in D sharp, an octave higher than we've just worked out. So just start from somewhere that you're familiar with and count up, and then you can double check it by doing your octaves. So here, let's count our octaves because it's easier than counting backwards, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know that it's all cows eat grass, so that would be A flat, but an octave lower than we've just worked out. Now I'm writing the word in full rather than using the symbol, just because that's what they've done. So I'm just following their lead and writing the word out in full. So here we know this is middle C. We'll count backwards just to show that it can be done. C, B, A, G sharp. Alternatively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to this line, every good G sharp. Let's look at the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to good boys B. It's a B sharp. And then let's think here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The spaces spell face, F-A-C-E, so this is an E flat. And so this last one, let's work this one out from a note we know. We know this is middle C, C, D, E, F. Alternatively, let's count down the octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good boys deserve football, so that's note F. So there we go, that wasn't too bad. That's the end of that question, and we'll look at the next questions in the next video. I do hope that that's been helpful to you. I hope it's of benefit to your studies. I also hope that you're enjoying this. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. It's good to get to grips with this topic of music theory. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.